Folks in Memphis now have to contend with the National Guard. Donald Trump has now placed those guards to the streets of Memphis. They arrived today. And, of course, you've had people making it clear they don't want them there. That's also what's been going on. Mayor Paul Young says he didn't request the troops. They, of course, were accepted by Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. Young said he agreed to cooperate after Trump and Governor Bill Lee went forward with their plan. Officials emphasized the mission is to target violent offenders, not intimidate residents. Police Chief C.J. Davis says the Guard will not be running checkpoints or policing neighborhoods, but will focus instead on directing traffic and maintaining a presence in busy retail corridors. We've been trying to get Mayor Paul Young on the show for the last several days. It has not happened, so we're going to keep reaching out to him every single day till he comes on this show. Other black mayors come on the show, so Mayor Young, don't be scared to come on. Roll him out Unfiltered. But joining us is Memphis City Council member Yolanda Cooper Sutton. I'm glad to have you here, Councilwoman, so please pass on to the mayor. Hey, this is the only black news show in America that's a daily show. He can come talk to us. Here's what I don't understand. You're going to have the National Guard directing traffic? Like that? Really? The police, she said, they're going to be directing traffic and in retail areas. Ooh, that's really going to deal with the issues in Memphis, right?
Right. And so what I'm understanding, and when we last talked, they're going to be in the downtown area, more so in parks and Beale Street. That's what their presence will mainly be from what our last meeting and we were last told. So they're in the downtown where tourism is. And of course, Beale Street is our big tourist place. And parks. So that's my understanding. And that's where they were when I left, because I'm in Jackson at the homecoming for JSU.
So do y'all have some major crime problem on Beale Street right now?
Right now, we don't have that much crime going on downtown because they put so much money into downtown and making sure that the downtown area is safe. So, no, not as much as it was at first. So it isn't at this time.
Okay, so what the hell are they doing then?
You tell me.
I don't know.
We're trying to figure it out. We're just trying to figure it out because we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for it. The mayor didn't ask for it. We didn't ask for this. But however, you got to understand the dynamics that goes on in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is a blue state. And they're really wanting it to be a red state.
Memphis is a blue city. Tennessee is a red state.
Yeah, that part. Yeah. And so, Memphis, there's the grit and grind there in Memphis, and it's predominantly black, 65% American. Black people live in Memphis. That's where we are. And we've had a crime issue. And if people will really be honest and be truthful, yes, we have. But however, the numbers were going down in our homicide, in our domestic violence. And so our numbers had really, really, really have been going down. And it was going down before all this was initiated.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here going, okay, so you're having them there to go into high retail areas and to direct traffic. Okay, sure. That's a great use of resources.
It is, isn't it? And they are not armed with, big tanks like they were. You got to remember the dynamics is totally different than Washington, D.C. And so they are downtown, from my understanding. They're downtown in tourism.
I have
the tourists.
Listen, I have said this numerous times, and I'll say it again. This is nothing about a big-ass TV show. This is a TV show. It's all about the spectacle. It's all about the flash. That's all this is. It's not actually about dealing with the issue. It is Donald Trump desperately. It's the TV show.
Yeah, it's a pony and horse show. It's a total pony and horse show. And as I always said from the beginning, when Kash Patel said that Memphis, Tennessee was the most dangerous, we should have cut him off at the knees then. But nobody said anything. And that was a light bulb. That should have been a light bulb. That should have been a red flag that had gone up and said, is something brewing in the background? And no one said anything. Not one thing. Even when I said something in August, I said they're planning on bringing the National Guards, but the picture is bigger than the National Guards, okay? It's bigger than that.
Yeah, but
we got 33 federal agencies. We got 33 federal agencies in Memphis. Really?
Right. And to your point, look, they're going to come after you, and you better be prepared to fight back. You saw what Brandon Johnson did in Chicago. You saw how Pritzker responded. Granted, Pritzker is a Democrat, but I get it. But Mayor Brandon Johnson was extremely strong about how he felt about these troops coming into Chicago.
That's right. That's right. Very, very pushback. He wasn't going for it. He wasn't going for the bullying. He just wasn't going for the rhetoric that, this administration brings. And it's just, we'll see. I'm just waiting for the numbers, and we'll see. I'm waiting to see the numbers, what the real outcome would be. What's the sustainability after all this is over? Whenever they decide to leave, I hear it. They're going to be there maybe a little bit longer than 90 days. So we'll see what happens in Memphis, Tennessee, because the federal agencies, now they got the people kind of spooked, and it's really sad to me as far as we had a lot of problems with paper tags, manufacturing paper tags, and people not being registered and all of that. And, we have a permitless gun law, which is reckless. So this whole thing to me was a game strategy set up. You're going to make a permitless law in the state of Tennessee. We asked the governor, we asked him to carve Memphis out of this until we get things under control, in which we were headed down the right path. We were getting things under control. However, when you don't have men with balls, and you got Dollar General and Family Dollar balls, and you can't stand up and tell them, no, you're not coming. We're doing good. This is the result that you get in your city.
Damn. Dollar General Family Dollar balls. Okay. You okay, Matt? Matt, you okay?
That's hilarious. That's funny.
Matt, you get the first question, the councilwoman.
No, come back to me.
Candace,
come back to me, please.
Candace, go ahead.
I lost my train of thought there a little bit. This is part of the game, right? We know that Trump comes out to be a victor because, listen, if you have the FBI on the ground and they have arresting powers, unlike the National Guard, you're going to have crime that goes down. I mean, anybody with an accent or anybody's papers are in order one bit, they're not going to be on the streets. So you mentioned sustainability. I'm wondering, what has it been like actually going downtown? If you have been there, what's the atmosphere? Can you take us down there?
Well, my office is downtown. It's on Main Street. And so I haven't been downtown since the NG's been here. They got here today and they're boots on the ground. I hear they're visible. However, it's a game. It's a game, and if you're just going to sit back and play this game, because see, it's two games that people talk about. This is just an absolute game. He said that he's coming to save Memphis, and he can't even save himself, never alone save himself. So how he's going to save Memphis and change the numbers? So like I always say, and I will always say, everybody talk about checker and chess. No, this ain't a checker and chess. This is a Ouija board that you're playing on. And if you ain't spiritually connected and you can't see where they're going with this, you're going to fall for the tricks. And you're going to fall for the falsehood and the lies and the rhetoric and all the other foolishness that's going on. This ain't no checker, nor is this chess. They playing straight from a Ouija board.
Michael.
I'm writing down everything you're saying today. And these are one for the books, the Ouija board. I thank you for your answer.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton. Yes, straight from a Ouija board. I never heard that one before. The Associated Press back on September 12th reported that Donald Trump said that he decided to send troops into Memphis, Tennessee after Union Pacific CEO Jim Vena, who used to regularly visit the city when he served on the board of FedEx, urged Donald Trump to address crime in the city. Can you talk about that? Do you know anything about that?
I have no validation on that. I don't have any validation on that. I don't know if that's one of his, he's a notorious liar. He will lie. Right. So I don't know. Right. Let's call a spade a spade. Right now, for Black Americans, it's very critical for us. And for a Democratic, we are at Memphis is a blue state, so it's very critical for us. And so we got to take everything that they're saying and turn this around and use it and capitalize off of it at the best way that we know how to capitalize off of it. And it is what it is. It's a dog and pony show. That's just what it is.
Right. Right. And that was my second point of my question. The community organizations, the community violence intervention organizations that have been working to bring the crime statistics down, things like this. Have they been talking about continuing what they're doing, ramp things up? Has there been talk in the community about what to do on the ground level with the troops there and the 13 federal agencies, things like that?
Well, the organization that I have been in contact with, they gave me a list of demands of what they wanted to see and what they didn't want to see. So far with the National Guards. And, people really focus on the National Guard. The National Guard, that's not even our issue there in Memphis. That's not even our problem there in Memphis because they're on the ground. They are not enforcing any kind of laws. They're not toting big weapons. I think they do. Right. They are armed on the side with armed ammunition and, that. But this thing is bigger than what people actually see. Even when Roland came into Memphis that time, you can feel the energy. And what's happening in Memphis is until you deal with poverty and the root cause and the convictions, until you deal with that and address that, you got a billionaire that you allowed to come to our city and purchase land for some water. Then you allowed him to sneak in here, a 501c3, really? The Chamber of Commerce? See, you got to understand the dynamics of Memphis. Unless you live there, I'm a transplant from Memphis. And unless you understand that poverty, you got poverty that has not been dealt with correctly. You got billionaires, you got AutoZone, you got FedEx. Now you got Elon Musk, you got Orgel, you got these big major billion-dollar companies, billionaires that's in Memphis, and Memphis look the way it looks. It should raise a red flag on how the government has been ran and how the politics has been handled. I've only been in my seat for 1 year, 10 months, and 10 days. And let me tell you something. I'm unbought and unbossed. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Until Memphis take control and deal with the corruption from the top, you're going to always get what you get at the bottom.
Right. Well, it is Matt, are you now ready to ask the question, Matt?
I am, but I'm also ready to move to Memphis and vote for this sister. I have a question for you, though, and that is with the police department that has a black chief and has, I believe, 50+% officers. What is that interaction like between the National Guard and the police, and what are the police doing, essentially, with now the National Guard having a presence in the city? Has that affected their duties? Has that affected how they're patrolling? Anything like that?
Well, what I do know, and what I did see before I left the city is that the police and the National Guards have partnered together. So they're walking together downtown. So they're partnering together, from my understanding. Once again, they're downtown. In our highly visible tourist area, but not in the streets of Memphis. They're not in the street. So right now they're in the downtown part of Memphis.
Which means that they are not.
So you make it make sense.
Yeah, which means that they are not in the most impacted areas, and so you claim you're there for the most impacted areas, but you actually are not. Again, it's all about a television show, and I'm sure Ice Barbie Christy Nome has sent more cameras to record what they're doing, so they can churn out more government-sponsored propaganda videos like they did in Chicago.
I'm sure. It's just, let me tell you, all this happened so fast. We could have stopped this at the door, but hey, we're here. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see the real numbers. You know, like I asked the chief at our city council meeting, I want to know the numbers, what you're actually doing, the work that you have been actually doing, the data, the work that you have, the Memphis Police Department, the people that's going to be here, that's going to stay here. I want to see actual numbers. I don't want numbers combined together. I want to see what you all have actually been doing since they've been here and the numbers that they have since they've been here.
Well, to me, that is a legitimate request. Councilwoman, we appreciate it. Glad you could join us. And we'll be following what happens in Memphis. And again, look forward to having Mayor Paul Young come on the show and talk about it.
I will talk to the mayor and I will let him know that you're requesting his presence, and I'm sure you will get a response.
All right. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.